Alright, I usually only appear when there are events to cover, but I've been around for a while and some players have asked me stuff about the game, so I thought I'd cover a typical day, but to be specific, a typical Friday. Probably won't have time to post it on the same day, but just for context, this is recorded on a Friday. I wanted to do a whole week, but my login timing is just all over the place, so I decided to cover just one day, and Friday is the best because, well, on Monday it's really slow and we're just waiting for everything to be calculated. And then on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we're just getting through the Direct C's first run, and we're getting through our first runs for all the bosses in the Memorial Arena. And so, like, on Fridays where you really have more stuff to do, in my opinion. And even so, I don't spend too much time on it. But yeah, so I thought it'd be a nice day to be sharing with you guys. So like just about any other day, I'm actually going about claiming everything, and of course the first thing to claim is the monthly crystal card. I do actually rely on that card a lot. If you can see there, oh, never mind, I'm not gonna go back in. But I do have like 7,000 crystals right now, and I haven't bought any crystals ever since my last gacha video. In fact, off screen, I even spent another 2,000 crystals because I got Rosalia with all the event and DRXC rewards, and then I started saving. So up till now it's been 7,000 crystals from just the monthly card, DRXC's Red Lotus, Memorial Arena, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I think the events have given some as well, and that's 7,000 right there. So it's always the best purchase in just about any gacha game, not just Honkai itself. And you don't find yourself spending too much, but of course, if you're not gonna buy other crystal packs, then you're gonna have a bit of a restraint on your content. And as everyone would know, you should go for the Hershey of the Void if you're not going for like specific needs, like elemental damage or like special support sets. Go for the Hershey of the Void, complete her set, it'll be useful in just about any game mode. Alright, so back to what's happening on the screen, it's Ziggy's Quantum Diary. Personally, I kinda like this event format. The first one we got was that cooking one. It doesn't consume copious amounts of stamina, which allows us to continue our daily farming routine without much disruption, and we get great stuff that's actually useful. Also, one thing I've noticed, ever since Night Squire, it seems we've been guaranteed a way to get the featured A-rank Valkyries for each update. Either by farming or taking part in the related events. Like this one, we're getting the fragments for Seele, but of course, I'm going to be pulling for her character card and save that additional 13 fragments, which is a lot if you're trying to go for like double or triple S. Even if you're trying to go for S, yeah. So consider doing that, but if you don't have a crystal budget, just unlock her directly. I mean, for the past week, I've been playing on the Chinese server, and I already have Seele's S rank without having to pull from the gacha at all. And we're probably gonna get the same event, so I'm not worried about that. Why I don't cover content from other servers is because I used to cover content from the Japanese server, and it felt like I was repeating myself. Of course, until Reburn came along, and I was doing that in the Japanese server, and was like, okay, I'm probably not gonna record anything because we're gonna get it soon. And we didn't. That was a huge disappointment, and we still don't have it. So, yeah, mihoyo, Southeast Asian team, if you're listening to this, like, please do something about that. Everyone's been waiting for the Reburn event, and yeah, why aren't we getting it? I mean, granted, it's like revamping the first few parts of the story, and we already have that ingrained into ours, but it was such a big event. I don't see why we shouldn't be getting that as well. Even if it's outdated, just find some way to squeeze it in. I'm sure everyone would appreciate that. Anyway, moving on. Okay, I'll talk a little bit more about Seele later on, but we'll just go through what I'm doing on screen right now. And once I'm done here, I'll probably be running around the open world. I haven't done that yet, so once I'm doing that, we'll just talk about random stuff in Honkai. But for now, what I'm doing right now on the screen, as you can see, is clearing out all my stamina for open world missions for Expedition. I usually log in twice a day, once to do that so my stamina has the time to regenerate, and once, you know, it's back up there, I clear out everything else and do all the other events. So it's really efficient. You probably only have to spend about an hour and a half if you're not counting the Memorial Arena and DRXC. So this one's gonna be pretty tight. I've only got like 4 days. By the time I post this video, maybe 1 or 2 days left to get all those remaining Phoenix fragments. I haven't gotten her to anywhere above double S. That means, yeah, she's basically just double S and 0 fragments. Okay, so I usually check the exchange house for Newton B. The funny thing is, I've only ever pulled Newton T and M from the gacha. So, yeah, tough luck. That's why we have the exchange house. I know the exchange house is really expensive, but judging from how far my friends have progressed, those that haven't really salvaged any stigmata, maybe 1 or 2 at most, they say that they've exchanged for 2, I think 3 stigma from the exchange house. So if you've been farming for the open world long enough, yeah, that's pretty much how many you can get. So 3 Newton Bs from the exchange house is pretty good. You know, when I had like 1 Newton B, I was constantly 2% in the Memorial Arena. And once I got up to about 3 of them, I was already in the top 100. I know, I have a lot of other equipment to back me up, but, you know, if you're in 2%, honestly, I've been in 2% for a long period of time. I never really aimed for the top 100 because it was just, I want to enjoy the game, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just in it for the gameplay and everything, but I started to get to know people who were much better at the game than I was, and started learning stuff from them, and I was like, hey, you know, this is also something that I'm interested in, because what really drew my attention to Honkai was the challenge stage itself. Elegy of the Wind came out, and I was like, yeah, that's great, that's what I want to see in a mobile game. We don't get that too often right now, but I still appreciate it, and I've come to find that playing in the Memorial Arena does have its own difficulties. Like, you know, even if you have the top tier equipment, it's not everyone that can pull off that kind of a run. It takes a lot of patience aside from the skill that the player needs to have, because sometimes you need to wait for the boss to start with a certain skill. If it doesn't use that skill as its first move, you probably have to restart the match. Also, for stuff like Lightning Empress, man, her conductivity is what gets me all the time. It's like, you switch her in, she's supposed to apply that debuff in like 1 or 2 hits, but she doesn't. And even if you started strong, you have to throw away that match and restart. And for me, it's like most of the time I'm just gonna leave the score at that. If I need to push it higher, I will, but if I don't have to, then great. That's the week for me, because it's not that I don't want to improve in the game, but sometimes it's just for a little bit of progress, I have to push for an hour or so, and it's not all the time that I have the ability to do so. So when I can, it's great, but when I can't, I'm happy that I have enough equipment to pull me through. And if you don't worry too much about it. You know, like I keep saying, I guess the game is really for enjoyment. If you get too emotional, I don't know if that's the right word to be using, but what I mean is that if you let it get to your head, like, everyone's having better equipment than I am, and there's so much that I don't have, I can't compete with them, it's not fair, you're not gonna enjoy the game. Granted, it's gonna be more fun if you do have certain stuff, but hey, even I don't have stuff like Blood Rose, Black Nucleus. There are a ton of weapons and stigmata that I don't have. I don't have Caravaggio, by the way. I would really like that, but sometimes I just don't think it's cost efficient for me to get it. Yeah, I know, whale problems, right? But that's the thing. Wherever you are, if you can't be happy with what you're doing, you'll never be happy, because look at me. I spend a lot more than most players do, but I also spend a lot less than quite a few players. Actually, a lot more players spend more than I do than you would think there are. And so, if I can't be happy at where I am, I'm just gonna make my own life sad. And whatever I do, I'm not gonna enjoy. And I don't want that for myself, and I sure as hell don't want that for anyone else who's playing the game. So I thought that it was something I should talk about, because way back, I actually got a comment on one of my gacha videos, and someone said something like, how does it feel to win the game by paying? Or something like that. And my response was, well, first of all, I'm flattered that you even think I'm winning anything, but I don't see where you're coming from, because, I mean, look, I'm not even in the first place in the Memorial Arena, I'm not in Myriad in the DRXC, so if there's any winning being done, there's like 100 people who are doing it to me, and I'm not winning those people. Sure, there are a lot of players who are not, you know, at the position that I'm in, but I don't see that as winning them. I mean, they have the skill in the game, I don't doubt that. And some players, they might have the equipment, but not the skill. You know, someone like me. I mean, there are players in the Momo Arena, if you check the list consistently, their equipment is actually not as good as mine, but they do better than I do. And, you know, it's just me not putting in enough effort, but I enjoy the game the way it is. And they enjoy the game the way that is, you know, the way they're doing it, which is great. And I don't see why that should be an issue that people are worried about. I mean, yeah, sure, it's nice to be able to beat out another player, but I know for sure that some players can do way better than I can. They just don't want to put in the money, or, you know, probably don't have the capability financially to do it. And so they don't have the same kind of standing that I have in the game, and I'm well aware of that. And so I don't really share that point of view. I just think that it's best to be able to enjoy the game, whether you spend or you don't. And so, you know, this P2W thing, I just can't agree with it. And I'm starting to do other videos that talk about issues like that, not just in Honkai, but they do take a while to produce. So if you stick with the channel and you happen to see these videos come up, then, you know, drop by and drop a comment. That'll be very much appreciated. So we are now at the open world part of my day. It's not usually a Friday that I clear it on. I usually do all the collecting on Monday itself, and then I just clear the missions, but I have some time right now, so I'm gonna do it right now. So I haven't gotten the Argent Knight costume yet, and I'm gonna try to pull for it later. I've seen some of my Armada mates already posting their screenshots, and they got it with their free tries. Yeah, because we're given like 10 tickets, right? I don't think I'll be getting that in the free 10 tries. I don't even think I'll be getting it through gacha at all. But I'm gonna try it, you know, for the sake of trying it. We do get crystals and stuff like that, and it might be worth it in terms of crystals, but even if it's not, well, what the hell, for the fun of it. And then if I don't get it, I'll probably end up buying it, because costumes are my thing, and I really like them. Alright, so since we're at the open world, and I said I'd be talking about stuff that people ask, so one of the things that people have been asking is what to do with Ancient Willpower. For the old-time players, what they've been doing with it is they've maxed out their Night Moonbeam and Lightning Empress, gotten both of them to triple S. I made kind of a bad decision and went for the jars instead, because I wanted to get Memento, and by the time I got her, she wasn't as useful as she previously was. Though she is going back into the meta right now because she's used against stuff like Benares and the Herrscher of the Void in the Momo Arena, but I wouldn't say that she's the best option to be going for. But if you are F2P, then yes, she is great because you don't have to gacha for her, and in future you will definitely be getting her to triple S, but just bear in mind that the jars do not only provide her fragments, they also provide Dimensional Breakers fragments, so it's kind of a tough thing to be doing. That's why I said, to me, it was kind of a bad decision. I think the best thing to do with your Ancient Willpower would be to go for Night Moonbeam. She is, by far, the most useful. I mean, I would say it's a draw between Lightning Empress and Night Moonbeam, but from what I've heard from people who have both of them at triple S, Night Moonbeam is gonna be the one that you're gonna rely on more. So go for her first, then Lightning Empress, and then Phoenix. Phoenix is really great because she's the hottest thing there is, so why not? But she starts being a good support, elemental support at double S, so you're gonna have to wait for quite a while before she starts being, you know, living up to her standards. So you might want to go for her in the current S rank egg, the Land of Wishes, because as everyone would know, if you get a character card, it's basically 80 fragments as your first unlocking. But if you get it after you already have the Valkyrie, it's only 30 fragments, so that's a lot of hard work, and try not to miss out on that. That's how, you know, that's how you make use of your resources. So even for people who buy crystals, you have to know how to spend it, otherwise it's gonna go to waste. Also, by the way, that's for S rank Valkyries. For A rank Valkyries, you lose 13 fragments. Not as much, but still, they're really precious. So if you can avoid losing out on stuff like that, it's better to plan your purchases. Especially since the Land of Wishes is only like 6,000 and 4,800. For an F2P, that is a really sensible option instead of throwing it all in gacha, because assuming you're gonna have to hit the guarantee, it's gonna cost you 28,000 crystals. Now that is a huge amount of crystals, even for someone who's buying them. So if you're still on the fence with the Land of Wishes, I hope that helped in some way. Alright, so I'm gonna pull for the costume for Argent Knight, but before that, we're gonna talk about Seele, because I said I will, right? And I've been using her on the Chinese server, gotten her to S rank, and she is really strong. I did already think that she would be useful because she is of a new type. She is a quantum type, so she doesn't have any kind of type disadvantages against the current 3 that we are facing right now. But aside from that, I've noticed stuff like her basic attack sequence, having a few iframes, which is weird for an A rank Valkyrie, but it's really useful. Also, her evasion gets you out of the sequence easily, unlike some other Valkyries where, like, if you're doing a certain move, you can't evade until the move is over. For her, it's really smooth, and I really like that about a Valkyrie. I think the only weak point that I can see about her right now, like I said, you know, before I have her, I can't really review her, it's just more of an opinion, is that her ultimate takes 125 SP. So if it were a little lower, like maybe 100, she would be way stronger than that, because, you know, you wouldn't have to charge up as long as you would have for 125. But other than that, you know, basically she's really strong. Even in her ulti, she's like, you can do the charge attack a few times to extend the ulti. I'm not too sure what the requirements are, but if you do an ultimate evasion, you extend the bar. You do a charge attack, you extend the bar. If you have her signature weapon, you can extend it too. So she can stay in her ulti mode for a really long time, but it depends on the player, and if you really know how to use her. So aside from just her basic attacks, one thing I like about her, and this is just a personal bias, is that her QTE is time slow activated. And that's, I mean, I really like that a lot because a lot of Valkyries can actually trigger it. Also, when she does her QTE strike, it actually chunks off a huge amount of HP from her opponent. And yeah, what's not to like? In terms of damage, well, your guess is as good as mine, because I don't have her yet, so like I always say, you know, if I don't have it, I can't really give you guys a good assessment. I don't want to throw out irresponsible comments and be like, oh, she can do this and she can do that. Really, I don't know. But from what I'm seeing right now, I really like it. And yeah, so this is me like adding commentary on because I'm editing the video right now. But anyway, as you can see on the screen, she is incredibly, I would say the area of her attack is incredibly large, which is something that I appreciate. And as you would see, so her charge attack, yeah, this one, has a huge area as well, and you can keep repeating it for some reason. I'm not sure how I do that, but I usually repeat it like 4 or 5 times when I'm in her burst mode. And yeah, it's crazy. You can just mow down huge mobs. So yeah, she's looking really good. I am much more hyped for her than I was before, because the hype for Seele is mainly because she's a popular character in the story. But for me, the only Valkyries that can really get me that hyped up, like even before looking at the gameplay and everything, would be Durandal and Cecilia. So aside from those two, I can't really get too hyped about a Valkyrie unless I see them in action. And yeah, Seele's turning out to be a really exciting one. Alright, so I'm gonna do a few tries on the Shrine Prayer, which is, you know, where we get the outfit for Argent Knight. I'm probably not gonna get it because it's like a 0.25% chance. Gonna try my 10 free pulls first. I like the line they put up there, like sure, people are gonna want to pull for that after reading this. Super deal! Participate in the Shrine Prayer event for chances to get tons of crystals, special outfit coupons, and even the outfit Maid of Celestia. No one should miss this. Really? Like a 0.25% chance for the costume? I mean, if you want Mithril and Astride and stuff like that, sure, but we'll see how it goes with the crystals. Oh my god, the first thing I get is a shrine purse slip. Like, how? What? It's like, yeah, better luck next time, man. Okay, 50 crystals, now we're talking. The better crystal drops would be 300 and 500, but that seems really unlikely. Alrighty, so we're back with more prayer slips, and I bought 77 of them because that is the closest to the cost of the costume itself. And I'm not really optimistic about this, but, you know, for the sake of trying it out, in case some of you are on the fence of, like, whether or not you should be buying this, here's the result. Okay, I gotta say, it was a little annoying getting all those prayer slips again, but yeah, that was pretty much what the results were, so no costume in 77 pulls, plus I think I got like 10 prayer slips or something like that, so it was up till 80 or 90 pulls, and I still didn't get the costume. So what I'm gonna do right here is to just check out how much I got out of this, and yeah, it doesn't seem like it's a lot. But, you know, it's not just the crystals. If you count the astrite, the jade, I don't think we'll count the jade, but, the special outfit costumes, then yeah, it averages out to the same amount you would be spending if you were to spend and buy all those stuff. But right now, I'm not gonna go any further than that. I'm just gonna go ahead and buy the costume. So to me, that's the whole point of gacha videos, but just one set of results is not gonna be able to totally show your chances. I mean, like I said, some people got it in the first 10 free pulls, so it's really up in the air, but to me, I think it's safer to just buy the costume if that's all you want. And yeah, it has a 20% discount, like, that matters at all? I mean, are they even gonna take it out? It's here for 12 days, and it's probably gonna have that discount for 12 days, so it's just marketing, I guess. But yeah, I got it, and I'm happy about it. I'm also happy that I tried the prayer shrine, because, I mean, I did get some crystals out of it, and pretty much all the stuff that I got together is gonna be the same value as the B chips that I spent on it. So I didn't lose anything. It's just, if you don't mind trying for it, yeah, sure. I don't think it's a bad deal, but like I said, you know, if you do only want the costume, go for the costume. So that's it for my typical day in Honkai Impact. I hope you guys have enjoyed this stream-ish video, and if you guys would like to see more of these, do let me know in the comment section. As always, if you gacha, do it responsibly, and this has been MG.